Madam President. And I rise to just echo the sentiments of the senator from Florida. His state has suffered an unspeakable tragedy. It is something that unfortunately brings together two terrible biases. One against the LGBT community. The other, a religiously based, radical attack inspired by ISIS that at that nightclub all came together. And to the senator from Florida and to everyone in Florida, our deepest sympathies to you. It was, of course, something that was understood in Massachusetts because he mentioned the Tsarnaev brothers as an inspiration to him. They struck on Patriots' Day in 2013 in the United States. Muhammad Atta and the other 9 were in Boston when they hijacked 2 planes from Logan Airport. So we know that these people are out there. We know that their hate-filled message is intended to kill innocent Americans. And we saw it once again. And unfortunately, the target was a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. But for us, I think we have to learn from this. This man had been investigated as a terrorist suspect. And yet, we are blocked, the senator from Florida and I and others, we are blocked from passing a law which would prevent anyone on a terrorist target watch list from buying a gun in the United States. It is not against the law. The National Rifle Association has enough power here on the floor of the United States Senate to prohibit someone who is on a terror watch list from buying guns in the United States of America. We need another vote out here on that issue, here in the United States Senate. We need to give the protections to the American people that they know that someone on a terror watch list cannot buy a gun in the United States of America. We also have to ban these military-style assault weapons like the AR-15, which are the guns of choice for those who seek to inflict mass casualties on civilians. These are not weapons that belong in combat on the streets of our country. They belong in combat overseas, not in our communities. They don't belong in Newtown. They don't belong in San Bernardino. They don't belong in Orlando. They don't belong on our streets or in our schools or in a civilized society. But yet, we cannot ban these weapons from being sold in the United States of America. We have to prevent any known or suspected terrorists from buying firearms, and we have to make it impossible for them as well to buy these assault weapons. So this is our challenge now. Once again, we are warned. Once again, we are told what the weapon of choice is. Once again, we know that they are going to target us if we make it easy for them to do so, to access these weapons. How many warnings do we need? The NRA really should stand for not relevant anymore in American politics. They should not control the agenda here on the floor of the United States Senate. We should be able to ban people on the terror watch list from buying guns. We should be able to ban these assault weapons from being sold at all inside of our country. The Senate leadership should stop banning a vote here on the Senate floor on ensuring that we do the research at the CDC on this relationship between mental health and the use of guns within our society. The bill that I've introduced calls for $10 million a year for the next 6 years. We can't even get the money to research gun violence in the United States of America. It doesn't have to be this way. We can change, we can learn these lessons, but we can't wait any longer to put those common sense gun laws on the books. We cannot wait any longer to make our streets safer. So let us close the gun show loophole that allows anyone to go into one of these Kmarts full of killing machines and buy a gun without a background check. Let's close the loophole that allows domestic abusers to buy guns. Let's close the loophole that allows straw purchasers to buy guns and flood our streets with them. Let's repeal the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act and take away the gun manufacturer's immunity from civil liability. PLCAA should stand for Protecting Lives, Creating Arms Accountability, not protecting these arms manufacturers from liability if these guns are used to kill innocent people in our society. So in the coming days and weeks, you can be assured that the National Rifle Association will be opposed to even these limited common sense gun measures. The NRA has had a stranglehold over Congress for far too long. It is time to end its reign of power. It is time to end its vice-like grip on the safety and security of our nation, of our young people. Those in Congress who do not support these common sense measures are siding with those forces that make it easier for these massacres to happen. That is the bottom line of where we are. Now is the time to stand up for the families of Columbine, of Newtown, of Aurora, of Chattanooga, of Charleston, of San Bernardino, and now of Orlando, and all of the cities across our country which are saying enough is enough. I was so proud on Saturday to march in the Boston Gay Pride Parade. It was a joyous occasion where love and community and social justice were all celebrated with a passion and a real sense of progress. But as I woke the next morning, I saw yet again how an individual armed with guns and fueled by extremist ideology can inflict violence and terror. But we are a nation of hope and not hatred. And after this tragedy, after this deplorable attack, let us denounce hate in all of its forms. Let us stand with the LGBTQ community and raise our voices with dignity, equality, and love. Let us say no to the rhetoric of hate that demonizes our friends and neighbors because of their faith, their sexual orientation, or because of their country of origin. Let us recommit to justice and moving progress forward. Madam President, the American people are begging and pleading for this institution to enact common sense gun safety measures. My hope is that the Senate can succeed where it has recently failed and muster the political will and courage to deliver badly needed reform of our gun laws. Let us work together to do this and to help prevent yet another mass shooting in our country. Madam President, I yield back the balance of my time.
President.
Senator from Delaware.
Madam